Well, everyone, we'll just give it a couple of seconds whilst the attendee numbers continue to climb. Okay, perfect. Should we make a start there? Is everyone ready our end?
I think we've got loads on.
Perfect. Right, welcome to the inaugural Accountancy Practice Webinar. Implicit's inaugural Accountancy Practice Webinar. Delighted today to be joined by Stephen Kuhn of BK Plus. And today we're going to be discussing a little bit around how Implicit can help accountancy practices support their growing clients and groups of companies in the mid-market space. So my name's Matt. I'm partner manager here at Implicit, formerly of Mazars as financial outsourcing manager until September of last year. I'm an accountant of 10 years, now come vendor side, and I head up the accountancy partner channel for Implicit, looking to basically establish partnerships with accountancy firms and enhance their mid-market offering. Stephen, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. It's Stephen Keen. I'm Client Technology Lead at BK Plus, with the main objective of getting our clients the best possible technology for their business needs. I've been in the UK for about 13 years, I was head of software or client technology at the largest accounting firm in the UK before I joined BK Plus, and started my career at PKF and set up the IT board at PKF in South Africa many years ago. Thank you.
Great. Thanks. Guy?
And I'm Guy. I'm one of the solution consultants at iplicit. A long time ago, I was an accountant, but since then, I've decided to move into the software world and show people how software works. So that's me.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Right, so what we're looking to cover today. So I'll start off, I'll give a bit of an introduction to Implicit, our position in the market and where we sit. Stephen's going to cover off why practices are looking to the mid-market space and how Implicit can help practices like BK Plus grow their service revenue. I'll run through the partner program benefits that we have here at Implicit, and then Guy will give us a short demo of Implicit's award-winning software. So to start with, I thought it'd be useful to give a bit of a lowdown on where the current situation is in the marketplace. A lot of mid-market organizations or groups of companies are typically using these kinds of pieces of software in the market, whether that's a mixture of cloud-based software or on-premise legacy systems. The issue that we found with some of these systems is either they reach their limitations, whether that's transactional volume, whether that's the fact that you might have to have multiple systems if you're a group of companies or part of a wider group. Some of them don't have any form of integration or are not cloud-based, so that makes it quite hard in terms of access and integrating your other products, whether that be CRM, booking systems, procurement systems, etc. And some of them are you struggle to get some real valuable analysis and data out of those systems. So looking at this marketplace and this landscape, we identified at Implicit that we think there's a real gap in the market for true mid-market cloud software. And that is exactly where Implicit's been designed to sit. So we are there for those businesses and organizations that maybe have outgrown the entry-level systems, whether that's due to functionality, whether that's due to transaction limits, whether that's due to the fact that they're part of a wider group. And maybe those companies then that can't afford, don't see the value in going for the larger players in the market due to maybe the disruption they bring in terms of implementation timeframes, or due to the cost that they bring in terms of license fees and implementations. And there's a nice quote down the bottom there from one of our clients, so you don't have to take our word for it. They found that Xero was too basic for what they needed, and the bigger players in the market just seemed too complex and too expensive. So for us, that really summarizes where we sit. We address what we think is a massive white space. We really reduce the entry level for organizations looking for some powerful accounting software. So how does Implicit address that? I'll just run through with you some headline functionalities and features, and Guy can touch on some of these areas in more detail later, and we can also arrange demos if anyone wants to explore any of these areas in further detail. But what Implicit offers is unlimited general ledger analysis and inquiries. We call these analysis codes or dimensions. Some of you may be familiar with them being called tracking categories or cost centers and departments. But what iplicit allows you to do is have an unlimited amount of these analysis codes across your entire general ledger. You can make these codes mandatory, you can make them optional, they can default, they can be restricted based on the user, and they can also be restricted based on the chart of account code. So you can have a completely different set of codes for your sales codes as you do for your purchases, as you do for your balance sheet, for example. Another feature of iplicit is it's a multi-company one environment system. So what that means is if you're a group of entities, rather than having to spin up several different instances of, say, a Xero or a Sage or an Exchequer or whatever it may be, all of your illegal entities are held with one environment on iplicit, which allows you then to do things like consolidated reporting, inclusive of intercompany eliminations, etc., and also supports things like intercompany transactions, group VAT returns, and multiple tax jurisdictions. So you don't have to spin up different instances of the same piece of software. Beyond that, we support full multi-currency reporting and consolidation. So you can consolidate and report on all of your group in any currency of your choice. So at the click of a button, you can change your reporting view from GBP to euros to Swiss francs to US dollars, and you can select which rate you want it to convert at, whether that be the average rate, the default rate, or the month-end close rate. Beyond that, we have flexible workflows and approvals throughout the entire system. So some of you may be familiar with the concept of products such as Approval Max. We have our own basic version of Approval Max within iplicit, which means you don't need to purchase that as an add-on. But that product or that feature is not just limited to our purchase ledger. So by standard, you can approve and set up approval workflows of things like purchase invoices and purchase orders, etc. But you can also approve things like the changing of bank details for a supplier or a customer, or you could approve a payment run, or the uploading of a budget, or the entry of a timesheet or an expense claim. So you can set approval workflows and authorization workflows across the entire system at your choice, and they're highly configurable for you to do. What we've also done as well is built out what we call the automation center. So the automation center basically sits at the core of the system, and it allows you to automate month-end routine tasks or even daily routine posting tasks. So to give you an example there, at month end, you could automatically set your accruals for your purchase orders. So you could say, go and look at my purchase orders that are not yet been delivered and create an accrual schedule for me and reverse that on the first day of the next period. Now, you don't have to do that for all of your purchase orders. You could limit that to certain costs, chart of account codes. You could limit that to certain suppliers. You could do the same to your purchase invoices and say, go and accrue all of the purchase invoices that are in draft. We also automate things like prepayments, deferred revenue, depreciation postings, FX gains and losses. You can set up an automation to run a penny correction across your age payables or age receivables report, and you can set a tolerance for that. And you can also do things like intercompany posting. So when the sales invoice is created, it will create a purchase invoice on the corresponding side, or you can submit group VAT returns and the assets and liabilities will be posted throughout the entire group, and things like multi-company purchases or distributions as well. So all of this stuff's been designed to save the end user time and really create efficiencies across the finance function, whether that be for the client side or whether that be for the accountant side in terms of an outsourced department, and something that could really improve the recoveries on a job and the amount of time spent. And then finally, because we're cloud-based, we have a complete open API, which means any field, whether that be custom or standard, can be pushed or pulled and updated automatically via our open API. So as long as your other product is willing to work with us, then that's something that we can develop and create. Just a little bit of background about iplicit. Since our launch in 2019, we've now got 10,000 daily users using the system. That spans 72 different countries and 1,000 organizations, and we've got a retention rate in excess of 99%. And after our launch, we won Best Mid-Market Software of the Year in 2020 and 2021 up against the likes of Dynamics and Intacct, etc. And we were finalists for our innovation at the Accountant Excellence Awards. If there's any more information you'd like to know about iplicit in terms of its functionality or any areas that you're interested in a bit more, my contact details are at the end of this slide. But for now, I'm going to pass it over to Stephen to explain how iplicit is benefiting those organisations looking to really serve the mid-market space.
Hi, thank you, Matt. I think where we should start, and it's on a slightly background and introduction. So it's accountants listening, and you're all aware 9 years ago, cloud wasn't really used and everything was basically on desktop type of software or Excel. And that has grown incredibly over the last 9 or 10 years. So 9 years ago, when I joined the previous firm I was at, we had about 30,000 addressable clients, and we only had just over 300 on cloud software. Roll forward to today, in the current business we're at, more than 50% of the clients is already on cloud software, and our business is only 2 years old. And that is accelerating to a point where I think we'll hit a 80% rule. All of us know about Xero and Sage. Matt has mentioned his limitations, and things like QuickBooks. Matt has mentioned his limitations. But until iplicit came along, there wasn't really something that addresses the mid-market within a single platform. So you could get cloud software that dealt with nominal ledger, but then you had no warehouse distribution or stock management, and you had to have a plugin for that. And if you look at all the legacy type of plugins for warehouse management, they're all server-based, etc. So once again, you had a hybrid solution. So what iplicit gives is a solution in the cloud which is usable in quite a few industries, configurable in a number of industries, and that we can, with good confidence, recommend to our clients. So why are clients looking at mid-market? The lower end of the SME market is already well versed, and a lot of the clients with MTD has been pushed, even though it started and stopped, has been pushed towards cloud software. And to give you some stats from an accounting firm point of view, applying cloud software and OCR things like text or auto entry, we've tested it with a group of business analysts, and we found that it actually gives us about 22% FTE. So it saves you a full-time equivalent of 22% of your staff. So there's a good benefit to it. But our mid-market clients could not achieve these benefits internally when they have an accounting team, because there wasn't really a product that allowed to do it all in one place, or it was well known. Now, I've been watching iplicit since 2019, when Paul showed it to me the first time, and knowing that Exchequer was a very good product, coming from an ERP background in my past life, I could immediately see the benefits of this product and know that it's trusted. So how do you choose these products? What I personally do, and what I think works for us, is support. So what's very important, if you look at any partner you deem to be partnering with to give to your clients, because you are referencing or you're introducing the product, if anything goes wrong, it could be bad for your reputation. Now, I always looked at, even with Sage Xero, local support, and for any additional applications which had to link into it, I always looked for local UK products so we could locally support the UK market. If anything goes wrong, we need someone on the phone, we need someone to give it attention, and we need someone to fix it quickly, because our client's business effectively is at risk of standing still, and our reputation is at risk if anything goes wrong. So what I found with iplicit is it ticks all those boxes. You have local relationships, you have local support, you have an open door policy, and you can pick a phone up on a mobile phone. Unfortunately, Matt works a bit late, so I get a lot of emails, sometimes 6, 7, 8, 9, or 7 o'clock in the morning. But that allows you to immediately address a client's concerns, because they don't generally work 9 to 5. Now, how do we use iplicit? You can use it in various forms. or you can partner at various levels. If you have clients which is outgrowing Sage 50, or maybe a group of companies who all runs on Sage 50, and you spend a huge amount of time doing consolidations and showing and delivering that to your clients, quite often you can't completely recover all the time, so it's just a cost burden for the business, and it's labor intensive and slow. And the benefit that a cloud software gives you is live data. If it's an automated consolidated report, for instance, it is live as the people are posting, and you can refresh it immediately, and it takes no time to generate once you've configured it or set it up. So dealing with clients, first of all, you find those clients that's outgrown bottom-end cloud software, that's maybe on desktop software, but are being limited by it because they have to pull a lot of integrations from other applications. A good example is if you're a hotel, you're on a spa, you've got a booking system, you've got a gym booking system, and all of these need to feed into your accounting system. That becomes quite a manual task. And then identifying those clients and introducing iplicit, and that's effectively where your work will stop. So you don't have to have a team of people that can implement it. The benefits of iplicit, as Matt showed on a cost level, their projects are well managed. The product is simple yet strong. The problem you quite often have with competitors, it's too configurable, i.e. you can change colors of screens and things like that. And the moment there's too much choice, it also becomes a problem for a project because that pushes the cost through the roof. And you've got different personality types in the end users that want things in a different way. But what you get with iplicit is highly configurable, can be delivered on scope correctly, and can be standardized across the business, because that's where you gain efficiencies and the ability to onboard quickly with new staff is standardization. So that's one level. On another level, you can use it internally for more complex outsourcing products, outsourcing clients. It's easy enough and intuitive enough to use very simply. You don't need a huge amount of training to be able to capture a purchase order or a purchase invoice or a sales invoice, etc. So it's quite quick to learn because we all know cloud software by now. And then on a third level, if you so wish, which is really not required because they have their own implementation team, you can part or completely implement the solutions, which gives you decent enough revenue once you are certified to do so. So there is different ways of gaining revenue from the product directly. The biggest benefit, however, is live data. So a lot of you have clients with maybe Pegasus or Sage 200, which was mentioned already. You get the backup from them. If you have a Sage 200 installation, you can install that on a SQL server and view it. If you don't have a SQL installation or a SQL server with Sage 200 and licensing for it, you have to go to client side, pull that data out, and thus, because it's so difficult to get to information live, you don't have an opportunity to touch base with your client, or you don't have as many touch points with your client. Once a product's in the cloud, as you know, with Xero, QuickBooks, Sage Business Cloud, you can immediately see what's going. A client phones you, you can immediately go in and do a correction if it needs be, and you can immediately support without having any kind of specialized tools. If you have something like Pegasus or Sage 200 on desktop, that becomes nigh on impossible unless you have something like TeamViewer or similar to be able to log on with the client. And because you can't mine MI as fast, you can't find any opportunities to engage and promote additional services to the client. So one of the biggest benefits in having your mid-tier clients in the cloud is most accounting firms have more services than just accounting. You could have banking, corporate finance. You might even have a marketing team, and the ability to engage with your clients more regularly, more often, to make your work as an accountant more efficient because the output's quicker, quite easy to integrate into your practice management solutions, and to then really give value to your client from a financial point of view and also your additional services point of view. So the average SME firm in the UK, smaller clients, charges average revenue per client is around £2,000, but just adding a few services to that without increasing your client base, you can quite easily take that up by 50 to 100%. And you can, if we get 100%, you can double your revenue on your SME clients quite easily by just introducing all of your services, because the clients are spending the money for the services you offer already, but they only think of you as an accountant and not as a banking or corporate finance advisor. So I think in a nutshell, that's the main benefits. And from an experience point of view, having dealt with ERP solutions for close on 30 years, that's important for you guys to know is I trust iplicit, I trust Paul, I trust Matt, and they're a good bunch of people to work with. And your clients are safe and your reputation is safe by partnering with a product like this, which is UK based, because it is genuine quality, as you'll see in the next few minutes when they demonstrate the product. So in a nutshell, I think that's about it. Again, if there's any questions, we'll Q&A it a bit after. Thank you, Matt.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Stephen. Yeah, as Stephen identified there, just to give you a quick summary of the partnerships that we offer. It is a straight referral partnership, so this is just for any clients that you have that may be stuck on-premise legacy systems, or those that have outgrown the entry-level offerings. In this partnership, we will do the complete sales cycle. You can attend all of the demos. We will do all of the implementations, etc. But the idea here is it's just making your clients aware of what's out there and what the alternative. Yep.
You're not sharing your screen.
Oh, am I not?
Your screen's not appearing.
Oh, sorry. That's weird. Was it sharing for Stephen?
Yes.
Okay.
It's got, yeah, it was sharing for Stephen, but it's just switched off. That's all.
Okay.
It's
all right.
Perfect.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah, it's making sure your clients are aware of what's out there as an offering, and quite simply put, if you guys aren't at the forefront of that and someone else makes them aware, what happens in that scenario? The second one is an implementation partner. So we're looking for the right type of partner to implement iplicit on our behalf. And that is something that we feel adds a real revenue stream or an opportunity to generate further revenue within your practice, outside of maybe just the standard Xero, Sage, QuickBooks implementations. And then the final one is for those firms looking to really adopt iplicit as their go-to mid-market solution for groups of companies or mid-market clients. And as Stephen said, all of these partnerships are designed to create opportunities to either attract new clients, maybe retain existing clients that are outgrowing, that are growing quickly, and maybe look to move further onto further accountants, to provide you with real access to your clients' data and become your client's trusted advisor, and to generate new revenue streams, whether that is implementations or further services across your business, whether that's audit, tax, mergers and acquisitions, etc. Anyway, let's jump into the product, show you a little bit around. I think Guy's going to touch mainly on the reporting side, so you guys can really see the power of the software. But if anyone wants a further demo on any other features, we can arrange that.
Thanks, Matt. Just let me know when that's coming through.
Yep.
Got it.
Yeah, that's all good.
Perfect. Okay, so to start off with, we've built iplicit as Steve was saying, a totally cloud-based system. So there's nothing to install. Any of yourselves or your clients will just need a web browser to access it. And we also have a free mobile app as well that work for Android and iOS devices. So the idea is you can access the system from anywhere. I'm going to log in from a sort of a client's experience to begin with. So if I just log in first, so iplicit sits on Microsoft Azure platform, so it has inbuilt disaster recovery. We use two-factor authentication, Active Directory integration, so we're nice and secure. When a client logs in, you can present them with standardized dashboards, that type of thing. We can also distribute different dashboards to different users within an organization. You might have your own different dashboards, so you can again talk to clients about things, recognize things. We might be monitoring things against budgets. The idea is we want to get information into iplicit simply, but we want to distribute that to your clients simply and easily without you having to do all the legwork behind that as well. The dashboards and charts can all be interactive. They can be downloaded as PDF files. We can put things into spreadsheets. Users can interact with them, drill into information. And again, we can set different dashboards to suit your, or say you can set different dashboards to suit your different client requirements. From an access point of view, in terms of what clients get to choose to see, or you get to choose to see what type of information that client can see, we can do anything from expose certain bits of the system. Maybe people can raise requisitions or procurements within the system. But to get to sort of the management of information, I might want to be able to produce trial balances. All of this is configurable and user definable. And that includes how these charts of accounts look, how we decide to group and present things. I'll show you how we do that in a second. And I may be looking at things on an annual basis. Clients may want to see comparisons over multiple years. So we try to make iplicit user-friendly, so it's nice and simple for people to get access to this information. And I may also want to drill into monthly accounts. I might want to go and see my profit and loss account. We might want to see that profit loss account over multiple entities because we are a single system, and I can look at consolidated views of those accounts. But I can also look at that information simply and easily on a monthly basis. And because we have an unlimited analysis levels within iplicit, your clients need information by cost centers, if they need information by departments, if they need information by projects, different activity levels, we've got the ability to change the way that these look and feel. I say we, again, you or your clients, depending on what we need to do. So we can give them different views of the chart of accounts. They might have a monthly management set of accounts view. We might have a different view of the accounts for our management team. We might have a different view of our accounts for our statutory presentations, investor information. So all of that's nice and configurable, and you've got the ability to just drag and drop those different dimensions. So you or your clients can get to that information and analyze it out without you having to spend time manipulating data and representing it for them. Together with the ability for anybody to drill into that data, even down to individual transaction lines, individual information about the postings, about that routine, if I needed to give people access to that information. So what we're all about is making information live to people in real time and accessible on any device. And that also includes the ability to do other nice things. So we've got different companies that we can set up within iplicit. So this is where I can set up all my different companies, which includes intercompany automation as well. We can publish different reports to those accounts as well. So again, if we've finished the year-end accounts, I could be sharing that within iplicit, so they've got access to that information. I want to give them access to the latest set of journal adjustments. All of that sort of detail can be stored within iplicit and accessible. So again, we're sort of making that sort of two-way connection between you and your clients. And although we've spent a lot of time developing all these screens, we also know that everybody likes a bit of a spreadsheet. So any of this data can be downloaded into Excel and exported from iplicit. However, lots of our customers are very comfortable with Excel. So what we did is, based on their feedback, is they wanted live links into Excel, not just the ability to download data that can then be updated and changed over time. So we have built within iplicit, or within Excel, should I say, an iplicit add-in. That add-in can be found by you or any of your clients from the Microsoft Store. I can search for iplicit. add that to my Excel. Once that's added, that then from Excel allows me to just open up the spreadsheet on any device, whether it's a laptop, computer, in and out of the office, whether it's my iPad. What I can now do is from Excel, I can log into iplicit. That then enables all of the information, all of the data that my user, my permissions have got access to, I can now access in an Excel spreadsheet. The difference here is that if I do access that data, so say I wanted to get an age creditors analysis, I might want a general ledger history analysis, I might want to see all my fixed asset additions for the year. I can create the table or create the data. So Excel is now going to iplicit and grabbing that data and placing that in this spreadsheet. The big difference here is because we're not exporting the data from the finance system into the spreadsheet is calling that data. That means as I change, manipulate, report on that data and produce the analysis that I need or our clients need, that data is now live. So if I open this up tomorrow morning, click the refresh button, that'll be refreshed with the latest set of data. That then provides you, in addition to that, to be able to create information that your clients need in real time. They get access to that information from wherever. The add-in also allows you to design management accounts and management accounts in Excel. How we do that is we have, along with the ability to grab any of the data out of iplicit, we've also got a range of functions that we build into Excel as part of the add-in. So in here, I could go and get a general ledger account code description, for example. All I need to do, just complete that like I would do any other Excel function. So nominate which nominal account I want, and then just drag that down. Same goes for figures. When it's going to get figures, I can go and get the legal entity. Again, because we could potentially consolidated within the one iplicit system, the accounting period, the nominal account that I want to use. Once I've got that data, drag that down, drag that across. And that's now connecting this spreadsheet live back to the finance system. So that means that I can give clients the ability to manipulate that data. You can present the data in a format that's important to them. You could do whatever other Excel analysis on that data. All iplicit is doing is providing Excel with the figures, the numbers, and the other ancillary bits of data. So then you can format these, you can template these for a particular client, you can show them the areas that they want, and you can then create a whole range of data for them. We have budgets and forecasts that can be held in iplicit across all your different entities. So again, we might be providing them budget and forecasting information with the ability to drill down into that data if I needed to. We might want to provide them with project information. So iplicit's got a full set of project ledgers. So we've got inbuilt project analysis. So I've wanted to give project details in there. So it might be, again, like Steve was saying, the ability to, without us spending more time, to be able to offer and extend a greater level of service to our customers without having to put the time and the effort into it as well. So really important for us to be able to present that data. And again, that data could be shared with clients as well. In addition to that, we also have our mobile application. So this is iplicit on my Android phone. It works with iOS, whether it's an iPad. We can, because iplicit has inbuilt workflow throughout the system, if you need clients to access information, you might need them to approve a journal, to approve an invoice. We can send them emails, we can send them messages, push notifications out through to their apps. They might need to approve a new customer, for example, or a new supplier. You might want them to check a budget. And again, I've got the ability to get access to this data all in real time. I might want to see some actuals against my budget. I might want to see some variances against it. So I can get to that data nice and easily. My client might have a discussion, those accountancy fees look a bit high. So I can see what those fees are. I can even drill down into the transactions. We've got inbuilt document management. Might want to see a scan of the invoice. So the ability to do that little bit of self-service again extends, and that can extend to completing timesheets and expenses, all within the one system, and access to all those different dashboards in there as well. Together with what other information you might want to publish, the management accounts, your latest fees out through iplicit as well. So we could give them access to that sort of data as well. And then just for completeness, I'm just going to log in as a sort of super user. If I just move my phone out of the way. So just to show you, just to cover off the scope of what iplicit does. So that was a sort of a limited user view, but we have full sales ledgers, everything from quotes, orders, and dispatch notes. Procurement, we've got a full procurement system. All of this is definable as well, per client or per practice, from requisitions to purchase orders to goods received notes to invoices, including document managements, consolidated aged debtors and creditors. We have inbuilt credit control, including reminder letters, but done in emails effectively these days. So we've got lots and lots of automation in iplicit. Bank feeds, we're fully MTD compliant. We'll do group VAT returns. We have loads of really nice intercompany stuff and loads of automation around period end routines as well, going to help improve your service to your clients. So accruals, prepayments, deferred income, all of that can be managed by the system as well, together with inbuilt budgeting and inbuilt project management as well. So, and I think I'm just about running out of time. So,
no, great. Thanks, Guy.
It's okay.
Yep. I think we've got just change presenter. I'll just put my screen back on a second again. I think I had a couple of questions. I think this one's probably best answered by yourself, Stephen, if that's okay. And it's someone's asking, how easy is it to sell iplicit to your customers, or convince your customers that iplicit is the right solution?
Customers, obviously, there must be a need, okay? And quite often as accountants, we get asked, can you recommend a product? Now, what we do, or what I did, when the accountants in the other departments came to me, I went with the accountant to visit a client. I understood their needs. So i.e., if it was a manufacturing business, this solution is not a solution unless they have an MRP solution they're running outside of the system. And I've introduced them to iplicit to a number of clients, and Guy was actually in demonstrations a couple of times. And at this point in time, we've got 100% success rate. So it's not difficult to sell the product, because what everyone wants, I mean, you've got a finance department or a finance team, let's say it's 100 or 150 staff members in a business. You've got a finance department that could be 5 to 8 people. Guy can go into the details right up to GRN and how the documents work. But what most business leaders want is that Excel functionality you saw there, how quickly the reports go out. So from an introduction point of view, it's simply knowing what your client's needs are, having a relationship with Matt, and showing the product to the client. And each one of these 100% success rate referrals we're talking about required one demonstration at the upper level. In 66% of the time it was one demonstration, and 33% of the time it was 2 demonstrations. So it's quite easy to recommend. It's just understand what the product does, which doesn't take long. You guys know what it does already by looking at it now, and then identifying a client that has a need, and they come to us all the time asking for that in any case.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much. I think in the interest of time, also I think there's one more there. I can't quite read it. So can you see that question, Guy? For me, it's from Emma. It's really condensed for me.
Give me 1 second.
I can't make the panel. Okay, I think I can see it now.
Can we submit a VAT return for a group of companies that have different? Can we submit a VAT return for a group of companies that have different base currencies? Basically, does the system convert to all international currencies to GBP so we can create a consolidated VAT return to send to HMRC?
That one's from Gabrielle. There's another one there. Yeah.
Yes, is the answer to that. Yeah, so we're a full multi-currency system. We're also a multi-VAT jurisdiction as well. So we're UK MTD compliant, but we will do, we'll take any currency, whether it's an invoice, whether it's a payment, take that in its originating currency, convert it into GBP or whatever the base currency is of their entity, because again, you could have an entity abroad in France, say, that's got a euro-based currency that's consolidating into a UK group. And we'll do multi-jurisdictional VAT, and we also do group VAT for your UK entities as well. So we'll consolidate all the subsidiaries into a group VAT return, and then we'll submit the return to HMRC. We'll also do the intercompany VAT adjustments through the intercompany accounts as well.
Yeah, and just also to add to that, we're completely multiple tax jurisdictions. So just to give you an example, when I was at Mazars, I had a client that was French TVA registered and UK VAT registered, one entity, but we had to spin up 2 instances of Xero just so we could get the VAT returns out each month or each quarter for the authorities. And then at year end, we had to combine the TBs to get the stats out the door. So obviously with iplicit, the benefit of that is you on one instance of iplicit, you can submit both the VAT returns or TVA returns that are needed.
Yeah, and there was one other question.
Emma's question is, are there options for cash flow forecasts?
Yes, there are. So we've got some inbuilt cash flow forecast inquiries that we call, which is the on-screen things within iplicit. We've also got, obviously, budgeting and forecasting information. We can hold revisions to those budgets and forecasts within iplicit as well. And then typically, I'll do cash flow forecasting and modeling in Excel using those Excel links that we looked at earlier.
Yeah, perfect.
And then there's
another one from Gabrielle is, what are the processes in terms of closing periods or year ends? If the year is finalised, will we be able to reopen the year end and modify any transactions? In Twinfield, for example, if a year is closed as final, we won't be able to reopen it. So I'm wondering if iplicit doesn't have this limitation.
Yes, we don't have that limitation. So you can close different ledgers off at different points in time. So I can close the purchase ledger off, the sales on the 2nd of the month. I can close the sales ledger off on the 3rd of the month, and then the GL off on the 5th. And then again, I can go back into closed periods. We've got different user security basically. So normal users, maybe clients, maybe won't be able to go back into and adjust into previous periods, but finance, you might be managing them. So you might be able to, your level of user might be able to go back. We can finalize an accounting period as well. So that will lock everything down. You can unlock that if you've got the right security levels. And we've also got period 13 in there as well. That's what I was thinking. Period 13 for month end, for year-end adjustments as well.
Yeah, I think
so you can roll forward years.
Periods are completely user definable. So you select a start and an end date on a period. So you can do things like 445 reporting, quarterly reporting, monthly reporting, whatever you need to be. And then you can create special adjustment periods if you need to, so they can start and end on the same day. And like Guy said, you can close them down, you can reopen them, all depend on user access and user rights.
We also do long and short accounting periods as well, and even consolidate groups that have different year ends. Yeah,
so if someone's got a 15-month year financial period, we can handle that as well. And then 2 quick ones. How long does iplicit take to get set up? So on average, we get a customer live in 16 days. That's 16 billable days, typically over a 3-month period, because people have still got their day job to do. But that just gives you an indication of how quick we go live, which is quite considerably quicker than other large ERP systems in the market, which are typically 50 to 100 days and sometimes 12 months of disruption. And then the last question is the consolidation outside the system or all done within the same platform? So consolidation is done within iplicit. You can consolidate in any currency at any point in time at any averaging rate that you wish to. And you can see local and consolidated currency reporting as well. Perfect.
There's also consolidated age debtors and creditors reporting as well, if they need it.
Yeah, you can run group age payables reports, which when you compare that to Xero, sometimes that takes an age to try and pull out and consolidate in Excel. Great. Right, well, thank everyone for your time. If you've got any questions or you want to get in touch or see any more features of iplicit, my contact details are here on the screen. We've also got some handouts, I think, in the panel on the right-hand side. Some of that's some more information around our accountancy partnership program. There's also a document in there which highlights our key features compared to the likes of the entry-level systems, which touched on things like projects and stock a little bit more detail. And then there's also some customer testimonial documents in there as well, which link through to the full case studies and even in some cases some videos. But no, yeah, thank you everyone for your time today. Stephen, special thanks to yourself for joining us, and thanks to yourself, Guy, as well.
Pleasure. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks everyone. Take care.
Bye.